I don't go to a top university for computer science and engineering. I don't have a 3.0 GPA, and I definitely do not major in computer science. But 2 summers ago, I managed to land a tech internship at one of the hottest growing tech companies. And it's because of these three main factors: hard work, persistence, and luck. Let's get into the video. If you're new to my channel, I'm Miko, and I'm a college student just trying to figure life out. On this channel, I do commentary videos and tech industry based ones just like this one, so if either of that interests you, then be sure to subscribe for weekly videos. Today, I'm going to be talking about how I got my internship at Slack 2 summers ago. I feel like it's honestly been a long journey from 2017 to 2019, and rather than just telling you how I got my internship in a boring fashion from start to finish, I'm going to describe how I got it in the form of an equation. Hard work plus a bit of persistence plus a bit of luck equals an internship offer. So I think to make the transition of this story a little bit easier, I'm just gonna briefly talk about my background about how I learned about tech internships in the first place as a non-CS major. So basically what was happening in my sophomore year was that I was kind of in this weird phase of trying to transition from being originally biological sciences to transferring into what would possibly be computer science, but that never actually happened. Regardless of my major standing, however, I did want to know more about tech internships. It was kind of just this thing that I was hearing in office hours and CS club events and just all over the computer science and engineering building, so I was curious. Once I did learn more about what they were about, I was just put in this state of panic in which I felt like I had to rush and get that internship. When it comes to getting a tech internship, there's a lot that you need to learn. From how to structure your resume, to how to network, how to sell yourself, how to pitch, how to stand out from thousands of applicants. There's just so many different things and topics you need to get down. Honestly, I felt like I had to constantly revise and hone my skills for the things I listed previously. Honestly, I feel like I was spending hours on my resume almost every single day because I was going to office hours, I was going to networking events, and I was getting all the advice I could, and all that advice varied, so I took it and ran with it. Resumes and networking aside, I feel like the hardest part for this entire process was just knowing how I could stand out, especially as someone, number one, without a computer science degree, and second of all, someone without the computer science background. Essentially, this was the most difficult part because I had to learn how to code outside of my classes and build out side projects that would take hours upon my time on top of my classwork. Unfortunately, as you saw in my intro, I do not have a 3.0 GPA, so that also really hurt my chances with a lot of companies that I was networking with at these career fairs. The minimum bar usually was 3.0, or usually what I was commonly seeing, 3.25 GPA. And to be honest, my mini take on that is that GPA does not mean anything. In fact, I've met some of the smartest engineers ever that did not have a 3.0 plus GPA, and they're doing pretty well in the industry. Put myself in a lot of uncomfortable situations just so I could try and score this internship, or rather any internship. From spending those hours on the resume to spending hours networking as a quiet introvert that would rather be home alone in my bed, not talking to anybody, it was just a lot of hard work and sweat and blood and tears that went into this. Which leads to the next part of the equation, persistence. I feel like it's very easy to be dejected and heartbroken over the hundreds, if not thousands, of email rejections you'll get from applying to internships. Especially when you see the email headline or tagline of thanks for applying to, you just know, we know what that means. It's a flat out rejection. Side note though, sometimes they will say thank you for applying and it's actually a good thing, so don't just delete your email because of that. Just a heads up. I've deleted those and I got follow-up emails saying you're moving on to the next step, so just keep that in mind. So basically at the time I was in the beginning of my internship hunt, I kept track of my rejections on the iPhone Notes app, and I think I was up to maybe 80 rejections from companies, but there was just a point where I realized I had to stop because it was becoming too much for me to keep entering the company name that just rejected me. Honestly, why didn't I just use Excel? I think it was just tons of moments that I feel other people can relate to in which you feel like you're gonna make it. You feel like you're gonna get the internship offer. After all those final rounds, someone's gotta say yes, right? That one company, that recruiter that liked you, they gotta say yes. You're in the final rounds. And then another rejection email brings you back to earth and everything comes crumbling down. I didn't even get an internship for 2018 when I worked so hard to get one, doing all the stuff I talked about previously. For months on end, I did my best. I studied, I fixed my resume, went to networking events, did interviews, rinse and repeat. And I didn't give up no matter how many rejections I got. And I never gave up because I just knew someone had to take me in eventually. I knew my worth, and eventually one of these companies was going to see my worth too. They were going to see all the hard work I was putting in, all the projects I did, all the things I started, and they were going to eventually take me in. So I just kept going. I feel like I had to. I kept going to networking events even though I didn't want to. I kept interviewing even though I sucked at them. And I kept building side projects even though they were all terrible. Check out my GitHub. Actually, don't check it out. I will cry if you check it out. I just couldn't give up, and that's where luck kind of plays a role as well. Often in tech, you'll probably run into hundreds of people that say they got this role or they managed to have a successful startup because of luck. And you'll think they're being modest, but they're probably being 100% honest with you. It really does take some luck to get our dream roles in this industry. This isn't just to like disregard all the hard work and persistence that someone puts in, myself especially, but given this is somewhat of a numbers game, there is quite a bit of luck involved, especially since we don't know what goes on behind the scenes of the hiring committees. What I mean by this is like an interviewer might just not like you, or you might get a terrible question versus your friend that might say they got an easy question. Or maybe the interviewer's having a terrible day and they just take it out on you. Or maybe you just get an interviewer that could care less about what they're doing in that moment and they don't even help you and they just stare at you blankly while you solve a problem. Yes, I have had that happen to me and I know that it's happened to multiple people. The point of the matter is, no matter how hard you prepare for these interviews, you just never know what the end result is gonna be, at least until you get that email. I personally feel like, number one, my interviews weren't as difficult as they could be, and number two, I had already known a Slack recruiter from this conference called the Grace Hopper Conference, GHC, and that kind of helped me put my foot in the door already. And yes, that can happen. It's actually pretty common, and your network is your net worth, and it's all in who you know. Because literally, someone told me they got to skip their Google phone screen because of someone they knew, whereas I still had to go through it and suffer. But honestly, without the luck, I don't think I'd be able to get my internship offer. After roughly a year and a half of all of that, I managed to score an internship at Slack. I interned there twice, and honestly, the internship clout ain't half bad. In all seriousness though, when it comes to securing an internship or generally trying to accomplish any goal in life, all it takes is hard work, persistence, and the luck and successes will come eventually. Be sure to check more of my tech videos being published soon. There should be another one coming here 2 weeks from now, so be sure to look out for that. And also, if you prefer to watch short form videos about my tech industry experiences and advice, then be sure to check out my tech shorts playlist that will be shown here as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.